education. From the municipality of Sultan Kudarat, Maguindanao, this is DXMM 107.3 megahertz Magnet FM. Magnet FM. The radio station of Skia Broadcasting Center. Magnet FM 107.3. Azan ang radyo mo. Mga isyu ng bayan.
Okay, that's the nature of parties in the Philippines because kulang ng ideology.
Mga kaganapan sa loob at labas ng ating bansa pag-uusapan.
This military force is for defense. Kasi iba yung gera sa labas, no? Function ng national defense yan.
Mga pananaw, opinyon at impormasyon na dagdag kaalaman.
Itong radio station na ito, we try to be balanced, no? So I hope they will not say politically based yung ating radio station. Di po, may disclaimer pa yan.
Lahat ng ito ay tatalakayin ngayon kasama ang batikang abogado at historian, Atty. Datu Michael Mastura sa The Way We See It. The Way We See It dito sa 107.3 DXMM Magnet FM. Azan ang radyo mo.
A'udzubillahi minasyaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh to all our listeners and viewers. This is The Way We See It here at DXMM 107.3 MHz Magnet FM with your host and analyst, Atty. Datu Michael Mastura, and yours truly, Sir Edris B. Mastura. It's March 9 po, 2024 at muli po tayo magsasama-sama from 9 to 10:30 in the morning. Bago po tayo magpatuloy, let us hear the greetings from our host, Atty. Datu Michael Mastura. Sir.
Salam dua sa inyong lahat dyan sa Mindanao, sa Luzon, and Visayas, and yung subaybay sa atin programa na ito, The Way We See It sa radio at saka sa Facebook and YouTube. So I wish you Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am your host, Atty. Datu Michael Mastura. This morning,
Yes, sir.
introduce na ba natin
Yes.
Datu Idris?
Yes, sir.
We will have a special, this is a very special event because I invited my cousin Roberto Maulana, better known as Bobby Alonto, who has a blog on Facebook, but I am trying to entice him to run a program for the commission, Bangsamoro Commission, on the preservation of cultural heritage. So I wish to introduce to you, he was a member of the MILF peace panel which negotiated with the government of the Philippines. We were teammates. He is a writer, known writer, very eloquent also in his speeches. So I wish to introduce Dato Maulana Bobby Alonto. Mag-greet.
Yes, sir. You are now recognized.
Can you put on? Hindi po siya naririnig.
Yeah, medyo mahina ang audio.
Okay, sir. Okay na. Marinig na po.
Can you increase the volume of the audio, please?
Increase.
Okay, okay. Okay, sir. Marinig
You
po.
look handsome. You look handsome, Bobby.
Yeah,
testing.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh.
So, okay. So, would you like me to speak, Kakamay?
Yes. Opo.
Okay.
Hindi,
Kasi I didn't
muna,
hear what
Bobby.
you were...
Introduce lang sandali, then we will introduce our guideline and saka
Okay.
tayo magdi-discuss. Introductory
Okay.
line. Oh.
Okay. Okay. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. advance Happy Ramadan to all. First of all, my profound courtesies to you, Kaka Mike, and to all the radio listeners. Shukran for inviting me to your weekly program. With me here is Brother Nur Jamal Batugan, who is the history researcher of the Bangsamoro Commission for the Preservation of Cultural Heritage for Lanao del Sur, or BCPCH Lanao del Sur. The BCPCH is, I believe, the youngest of the agencies of the BARM government. It has been activated in 2021, and its mandate is to promote and write Bangsamoro history from the perspective of the Bangsamoro and preserve Bangsamoro culture. Actually, even if it is the youngest institution in the BARM government to be activated, the BCPCH has the most number of national agencies whose powers and functions have been devolved to it. Under its mandate, there are about 9 or 10 national agencies, like the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, or NSCP. What else? National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or NCCA, National Museum, National Library, and the like. So you see, the BCPCH is, how would you say it, quite overloaded. So thank you again for inviting me to your program, Kaka Mike. It's nice to see you, and I really miss our those times when we were in Malaysia during the peace negotiations.
So,
Thank you very much, Kaka Mike.
kapake mo na murano ta maganda
Sige, okay.
Para
Halo-halo na lang.
So
Okay.
that yung
Okay.
at saka Tagalog, so that yung ating
Okay.
mamamayan hindi
Okay.
masyado sanay sa English. Okay. So that Idris
Yes.
is my teammate here.
Yes.
So can you introduce our guide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Opo, for the guide na rin po ng ating guest, Sir Robert Maulana Alonto. Sir, good morning po. Assalamualaikum.
Good morning. Good morning.
Opo. So our guide po today, sir, no, our main topic po is celebrating Bangsamoro History Month po, no, 2024. So very timely po. Our guides po, number 1, no, featured figures loom in March. Yan, sino-sino ba yan sila? Then Sultan Kudarat versus Governor General Colquera. We will have, sir, parang review, no? Anong nangyari? Number 2, heritage and struggle, right to self-determine status and colonizability. And then 3rd, caption, no? History Month photos, facts, themes, and trivia. And then 4, what's next? Post famous quotes for the Bangsamoro History Month. Yan po. So yan po yung guide natin, sir.
So itong month, Sir Maulana Bobby Alonto ay tinatawag na Bangsamoro Month. Why should we, or why do we celebrate a Bangsamoro History Month? Why in March? Is it because the Eid of March, Julius Caesar was assassinated? And then, of course, it's remarkable that Marawi, we use Marahui, the Spanish, no, was siege in March, beginning March, and then we have also the great battle between Sultan Kudarat and Governor Cuera, who after the siege of Kudarat's fortification near Malabang, in what is Ramitan, they developed in the north, the Christian Filipinos, a festival known as Sarsuelo or Moro-Moro. Itong Moro-Moro na ito defeated it's Christian versus Moro, defeated ang Moro. Pagkatapos ito ay naging very emotional and religious, and that's why there is a lot of prejudice. Bobby what is your comment on this? Because it's in your blog. Nandyan sa blog mo yung about Kudarat and the exploits of Sultan Kudarat, and then yung significance niya.
Yeah, thank you, Kaka Mike. Actually, the History Month of March was declared by the Chief Minister to be observed every month of March. And this year, the observance is led by the Ministry of Public Security, Safety, or MPOS, MPOS. Okay, why the month of March? Because in the month of March, there are significant events in Moro history that occurred, no? For example, the Corredor or Jabida Massacre of March 18, 1968 occurred in March, and yun ang sinasabi nila that was the beginning of the organization of the Moro Liberation Movement. Okay, and you also have the signing of the Comprehensive Compact on the Bangsamoro on March 27, 2014, which is actually the basis for the establishment of the present BARM. Okay, but apart from that, there are other events of equal importance na hindi na cite doon sa hindi na cite sa doon sa directive, and this is the Battle of Ramitan on March 13 to 16, 1637, between the Spanish forces of Spanish Governor General Cortado de Corcuera, consisting of 1,700 men and almost the entire Spanish naval flotilla on one hand, and the Iranumbrano forces of Sultan Muhammad Tipatuan Kudarat. The fortress of Kudarat in Ramitan, which is called Kuta Ilian, fell to the Spaniards. Kudarat was wounded in that battle and evacuated by his warriors to Butig, whose Datu was Nuni Amatunding, reportedly the brother-in-law of the Sultan. And in that event also, in the tragic event also, Paramisuli Fatima Kabir and her infant son, the wife of Sultan Kudarat and son, were martyred after she jumped from a cliff with her son in her arms to avoid capture by the Spaniards. And there is another event, which is the Battle of Kuta Marawi and martyrdom of Amay Pakpak on March 10, 1895, which was the last major battle in the 333-year Moro-Spanish War. And also on March 16, 1906, we have the Battle of Budaho in Sulu during the American occupation of Moroland. And finally, you have the Dansalan Declaration of 1935. So in the month of March, there are many significant events that happened that prompted the government of the day, Sabarm, to declare it the Bangsamoro History Month of March.
So there seems to be a cycle of events. Cycle kasi bumabalik tayo doon, and if we do not know our history, hindi tayo makaproject ng future status natin. Halimbawa, Bobby, bukod pa diyan sa Jabida Massacre, diyan nagumpisa yung battle dito sa Tran. Si your Apo Datu Giwan was the leading commander of that battle for 3 months. And doon nagumpisa yung battle dito sa Mindanao. Actually, when General Abad said, the day we nearly lost, yun sa libro niya, the day we nearly lost Mindanao. So, pero hindi lang tayo, we have many points to be proud of. Hindi lang tayo proud about being warriors. The more important significance is that tayo ay mga tao na we love freedom. Hindi tayo, we are gallant in battles, but what it is, kasi later on, Bobby, you can refer also to the speech of Sultan Kudarat, which is a very nationalistic exhortation of the Maranao Datus on the lake. And then, makita po din natin sa ito, para makita ng yung sumusulat ng libro, Philippine History. Ito din, March, ibang year lang, pero itong March din, yung ginawa earlier, in 1565, yung hindi naman signing, but more of a blood compact between the adelantado Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and then Datu Sikatuna of Bohol. No? So you see, it's about freedom. It's about the pride that our people has in time of history, as well as significantly we are recording it in your commission so that our young generation will mark it in their hearts and in their awareness that tayong mga tao hindi pala basta-basta binabasta-basta dahil meron tayong malaking esteem. So, Bobby, you will recall our fight to recognize our parity of esteem sa negotiation?
Yes, of course, yes. Yeah.
So, this will lead to what is called the struggle for self-determination. Tama ba?
Of course. Yes. Tama. Okay.
So, yung Dansalan Declaration, diyan nagumpisa yung bangsa Moro as an identity.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Tama ka, Mike. No, you're correct. Benar ka din sa mga tika kuan. We have to look back at history, because if you recall, there was this statement, or there was this adage attributed to George Santayana in 1903, which says that who said that those who do not look back at the past are condemned to repeat it. So this is very important for us to know that in our history, we have this history, and we have to be proud of it. In fact, we cannot explain our nationhood status as Bangsamoro if we do not go back to history. Incidentally, doon sa Dansalan Declaration of 1955, hindi doon na-declare yung Bangsamoro. It was in the Zamboanga Declaration of 1924. Remember yung February 1 na Dansalan Declaration, wherein the Sultan of Maguindanao, Mangigin, led the leaders of the Moro leaders from the different parts of Mindanao to assemble in Zamboanga, wherein they petitioned the American government and telling the American government na huwag nyo kaming isali doon sa independence na ibibigay nyo sa mga Filipinos, because at that time it was being bruited about that the Americans were about to grant independence to the Filipinos. So our forefathers, led by Sultan Mangigin, my great grand uncle was also there, present, and he was a signatory to the Zamboanga Declaration. The Datu of Ganasi, mother side, was there. And in that petition, in that declaration, they told the Americans na huwag nyo kaming isali. Di kami nyo ipagupod. Sa nganan, independence ay muli nyo kung mga Pilipino. But 50 years after, bigyan nyo rin kami ng similar independence. And we should be called, our nation should be called Moro Nation, which in Malay, if you translate that in Malay, is Bangsamoro. So that's where we got our identity.
So dalawang declaration, the earlier one, but you see the beginning point would be the Wilson Declaration, defining the right to self-determination.
Yes,
right
yes.
to, hindi right of. Sa English, malaking diferensya yung right to. Kasi
Oh,
kawagib tano.
Mm.
Rekita no kawagib.
Kabenar.
Kabenar.
Mm.
Gasar tano,
Mm.
tuntutan tano. Tuntutan
Why, correct,
tano.
correct.
Igaya.
Mm.
Rekita no kawagib, kabenar na 1916 kasi inalis na yung after the Carpenter Agreement. Kunti-kunti ang tawag diyan policy of abolition. Ina-abolish
Yes.
kunti-kunti yung ating rights, which is parallel also to what happened ang nangyari sa Hawaii, the Lost Kingdom.
Yes.
Ninakaw na
Correct,
kingdom,
correct.
no? Yung
Yeah,
mga
correct.
Hawaiian, no? Dito sa atin ninakaw pa rin. Ngayon, yan ang katibayan ng ating stand.
Yes.
Now, so when we negotiated diyan sa Malaysia, inumpisahan natin ang stand natin na ma-recognize yung Bangsamoro as an identity but this time within the Republic of the Philippines, because we were also thinking in the MOA AD na ma-recognize yung ating land. You see, the reason why I'm explaining this, Bobby, kasi minsan ang mga tao hindi nila alam na ang history pala ay buhay.
Yes, exactly. Kaka Mike, exactly.
Live.
Mm.
So, sa ating contemporary history, ma-recall natin, pero ma-assert natin ano yung katibayan ng ating panindigan. Yun
Yes.
ang dapat stand diyan sa Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. So, kung ganitong mga usapan, Bobby, kaya ini-encourage ko yung commission ninyo na in fact magkaroon ng programa dito sa radio station natin na ito sa 107.3 every Saturday after my program, tulad ng preservation ko sa Bayok and this Dayunday and many others, cultural heritage, para mapalaki, maglago, not hindi lang sa month of March, kung hindi, every Saturday, mapag-usapan natin. Ano kaya palagay mo dyan, Maulana?
Correct, Kaka Mike. I think tama ito. We should continuously discussing about yung history natin. Tama ka dyan. I agree with you. And hindi lang ito ang last time na makapag-usap tayo ng ganito, no? I think we should continue this para ma-remind natin yung mga present generation natin of what really happened. And this will also foster or advance yung sinusulong natin na transitional justice. In fact, yung writing of Bangsamoro history is in keeping with transitional justice. And what we are doing now is in line with the implementation of that transitional justice, which until now has yet to be implemented, no? So yun po. Yun po ang ating ano rito. So siguro dito sa BARM has to exert more effort. BARM has to be historically conscious of the past, of what happened to us, para maitanim sa kaisipan ng ating mga younger generation na tayo ay ganito because of the past. For example, ako, Kaka Mike, I will like to be frank na nung tayo nagne-negotiate, if you remember, and you were one of the staunchest advocates of this, no? Na hindi tayo nagpatawag na region. Kasi ang belief natin, hindi tayo political subdivision ng Philippines. We are a nation. We are not a region. Kaya, remember, nung last leg ng ating last stage ng ating negotiation, the Philippine panel would like to call us region. Pero tayo, hindi. Gusto natin sub-state. So, nagkaroon ng what you call that argument, very, very acrimonious pa nga yung discussion. So, muntik na tayong mag-break. That's why, so we have to compromise. So, instead of being called ayaw nila ng substate, ang Philippine panel, ayaw natin ng region. So ang compromise is Bangsamoro lang. Bangsamoro. Kaya nga, comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro. Framework agreement on the Bangsamoro. It's not framework agreement on the Bangsamoro region. It's not. Bangsamoro lang kasi yun yung ating compromise. Kaya lang, nung nangyari was that during the second Bangsamoro Transition Commission that drafted the BOL, pinasok yung region. So actually, to be frank with you, hindi ako sumali. I did not participate in the plebiscite for that because naano ko yung ating sa negotiation, hindi natin pinag-usapan yung region, pinag-usapan natin yung Bangsamoro. Kasi ayaw nila ng nation, ayaw nila ng substate, ayaw nila ng nation, pero ayaw rin natin ng region. So Bangsamoro lang. Yun ang tinatawag natin na ambiguous, ambiguity. What they call it?
Saka, mayroon
Yung
tayong
may term tayo na
asymmetric relation.
relationship.
O iba
relation,
yung ating region sa ibang
yes.
the rest of the
Yun ang
nation.
tinawag natin yung constructive ambiguity.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Si Kakang Musib was the one who coined that, saka ikaw.
Oh.
Yung constructive ambiguity. So we settled for Bangsamoro lang. Walang region, walang substate.
Okay. Tama. So you see, kapukaw so negotiation tano so mga di kambitiara si sa public so negotiation but mala kaya pa ka pawala ami ko GRP panel sa giyaya ba identity tano as Bangsamoro. Ano to na deep terima ng mga tao so Bangsamoro katigiran Murubu. Nagagya Muro anan na miyakwa tanong mananan sa Kastila mga Espanyol di ba nakuha natin sa Espanyol, but anyway I am preparing our mind, ang ating isip. You see, malawak talaga ang kaalaman natin sa history of our people. So we are moving on to yung Dansalan Declaration, yung Zamboanga Declaration, yung 1916 pa na sinulat ng lolo ko at saka mga Maguindanao datos. Why are you changing the framework of our governance? Ito, malaki ito na inassert natin sa ating positions. So it is very relevant. Yung history ay talagang relevant. But let me say this, Bobby, kasi we are moving into the second segment na another 30 minutes. Yung right to determine our future status sa Tripoli Agreement of 2001. Maalala mo, Bobby?
Yes.
We not only sinulong natin yung political structure, pagkatapos yung power sharing and wealth sharing, very short agreement yan, pero malamang, no? Maraming content. Ngayon, just to remind our people, the last yung decolonization process was the turnover of Hong Kong to China in 1997, July 1, 1997, after 156 years of British rule. But ang semblance dyan ay yung 99 years na sinasabing semblance of ni Recto na eternity, yung lease agreement. Ganyan din yung Philippine lease agreement with the Americans. 99 years, which was shortened in Marcos time to 25 years. Pagkatapos, naputol na yung during the time na nagkaroon ng Mount Pinatubo na napaalis na yung American bases in the Philippines. Ang pinapaabot ko ay you cannot write history without including the history of Bangsamoro. Hindi lang
Yes.
yung 1896 revolution. Wala ang Bangsamoro diyan. Pero malawak ang mga principles, ang mga events na maaari nating i-move forward na talagang yung maayos natin yung a real history of the Philippines. Hindi yung history without the Bangsamoro kasi pinapasok lang piracy, the war of Spain against the Moro, and it was a war of piracy. Siguro sa pamamagitan ng commission ninyo ulit again maisulat natin ang history ng Pilipinas. Gusto ko malaman ang mga layunin mo, your dreams, your comments or your mind, kasi you are one of our intellectual thinkers and writers. So habang buhay tayo, Bobby, para
Thank you, Kap.
we will make it a legacy sa itong mga millennials.
Yes, sir. So, I think, sir, na ma-reserve ni Sir Bobby po yung kanyang sagot doon sa inyong tanong right after magkaroon po tayo ng break. No, short break, sir. Magkakaroon po tayo ng short break because it's already 9:30. So, sir, mamamaya-maya, no, after the break.
So, this is the way we see it.
Yes.
Radio 107.3
Magnet FM. So, we will be coming back po.
Okay.
po. So we are back. This is still the way we see it po here at TXMM 107.3 Magnet FM with your host, Attorney Datu Michael Mastura, yours truly, Sir Edris Mastura, and our guest for today, one of the commissioners of the Bangsamoro Commission for the Preservation of Cultural Heritage, Sir Robert Bobby Maulana Alonto. So we are in the second segment, sir. By the way, sa mga viewers po natin dyan, kung gusto nyo pong magkomento sa aming usapin, live po tayo sa Facebook. Pwede po kayong mag-comment directly sa ating Facebook page. I-search nyo lang po The Way We See It here at DXMM 107.3 Magnet FM. Kung gusto niyo naman po mag-text, ang numero po namin, it's 0915-5649126. Inulit ko po, 0915-5649126. 826. So, sir.
Siguro, so
Sir
we
Mike?
resume,
Mm.
we repeat.
Yes, the...
Recall mo po,
Opo.
Datu Bobby,
Mm.
Alonto,
Yes, Kaka Mike.
yung
Yes.
comment
Mat-
mo dyan.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, Assalamualaikum again.
Waalaikumsalam. Yes, sir. Yep. Marinig po kayo, sir.
so sinabi ko po yung
Mm.
kanina,
Apo, yung,
anong remind mo,
Opo.
Datu Idris,
Mm.
yung point na yon.
Yes, yes.
But there is also another,
Mm.
bago yun, para ma-seal natin yung conversation.
Opo.
Oh. Yung nire-recall natin yung very early, yung Kudarat, Corcuera,
Mm.
and then we are moving to the right to self-determination.
Mm.
Ngayon, hindi lang yun ang pinapaala-ala ko.
Mm.
Kasi si Governor Corcuera, he was loved for being a successful commander.
Mm.
Pero at the end of his term,
Mm.
siya po ay nagkaroon ng kaso.
Mm.
Naalis po siya sa pwesto, may charges of graft and corruption
Mm.
during his administration. Kasi noon, sa Spanish regime,
Mm.
meron silang tinatawag na residencia judicial.
Judicial. Opo.
Oh.
Or...
Idris, ano po ito, explain ito
Opo.
sa ating guide. Itong
Opo.
residencia judicial.
Opo. Basahin ko lang, sir, no, yung ating research po about doon, no. Itong ang kanyang English diyan po ay yung judicial trial, no. Ito po daw ay conducted by a judicial official, no, and it combined the features of a general survey of the career of the official under investigation, no. It's like an auditing of his accounts and a formal trial. Yan siya.
Okay. Sinulat po yan ni Dr. Onofre Corpus, yung libro niya on bureaucracy.
Mm.
Again, Bobby, I'm trying to make history alive na
Okay, thank you.
maganda sana yung
Mm.
sitwasyon na ganyan. Tulad rin yan ng itong ombudsman.
Mm.
At the end of the term of the Governor General or if any officials,
Mm.
sila ay pinapa-account doon sa kanilang
Yes.
nagawa o katiwalian, kung mayroong katiwalian.
Mm.
If there is any corruption,
Mm.
halimbawa, pwedeng filean ng case.
Mm.
Now, ito ay reminder sa history, the whole of the Philippines, official dam, na the roots of corruption, nandiyan na yan.
Mm.
Alam natin. Pero sa ating bureaucracy and administration, kailangan din itong mga reminders sa history na even a governor general could be removed.
Yes.
Ganun din sa constitution natin. Yung presidente ng Pilipinas ay na-impeach tulad ni Joseph Estrada.
Yes.
Then you have also a chief of
Justice.
the justice.
Apo.
The chief justice,
Corona.
Corona, and although he was later on, I think, exonerated, but then you had the lady chief justice na impeach din.
Opo.
So dito sa BARM, nire-remind ko, being an activist, na dapat sa ating isipin yan na hindi tayo permanente dyan sa mga pwesto na yan. Maaari tayong mag-answer ng ating mga katiwalian if there is any. No? So, this is another lesson in history that malaman. Now, balikan ko yung culture, Bobby. Yung sarsuela, ano ba ang epekto ng sarsuela? Anong impact ng sarsuela sa inyong tingin?
Okay, thank you very much, Kaka Mike. But before that, before I answer that, no,
Mm.
gusto ko lang balikan yung tungkol kay Sebastian Corcuera, no?
Mm.
Yung sinabi mo about the Corcuera,
Mm.
tama 'yon, ano? But gusto kong ma-touch natin ngayon yung effect, yung impact ni
Mm.
Corcuera
Mm.
dito sa nangyari sa atin,
Mm.
especially dito sa Lanao,
Mm.
nung pina-invade.
I-start mo ulit, sir.
Update.
Okay, so we have a technical glitch po, no? Ayusin po natin sandali. Naputol po yung ating connection, no? For some technical problem. So, Sir Bobby, pasensya po, but we will call you in another way po, no? Or mean po, no? So, just wait po, sandali lang. So, by the way, sa viewers po natin dyan, no? Live po tayo sa Facebook, so pwede po kayong mag-comment dyan po, no? Open po yung linya natin, yung ating text line po, no? 0915 155649126. Okay. So,
at saka ang pinag-usapan natin, topic natin
yes,
ay
Bangsamoro History Month po, because March
okay.
March is declared as the Bangsamoro History Month under the proclamation number 0001 series of 2021 issued by the Chief Minister.
Hello?
Okay.
Okay.
So, sir,
You're back,
sir. You're recognized.
Oo, nawala.
Apo, pasensya lang po. Naputol yung ating Zoom.
Okay.
Pero you are now recognized po.
Bakit yun nawala? Bakit yun nawala?
Yung Zoom po kasi natin, sir, is may limited time, no? So,
I see.
kaya siya naputol po.
Pwede i-resume.
Opo. Pero gawaan po natin ng paraan para ma-resume, but now you're still
You are heard.
you are heard po.
Okay, so what will I do?
Okay, you can now continue, sir, yung sa yung pong usapin kanina po.
Okay. Okay, medyo kasi nagbi-break up ano, sandali
Opo.
Okay, sandali lang.
Yes.
So saan ako magsasalita dito? Dito business phone?
Yes, sir. Continue. Yes, sir. Naririnig ka po.
Okay. Gusto ko lang balikan sana Kaka Mike yung kay Sebastian Hurtado de Corcuera. Kasi yung nabanggit mo siya, tama 'yon, ano? Kahit na nga yung gobernador general ay pwedeng paalisin o sipain sa pwesto because of some mga katiwalian. But ang gusto ko lang i-discuss dito ay yung impact ni Corcuera dito sa Lanao, Wisconsin, no? Saka sa Bangsamoro History yung episode na yon. For example, dun sa nung April 4, 1639, and this was the year 2 years after the attack on Ramitan by Corcuera's forces and the defeat of Sultan Kudarat. On April 4, 1639, the first pinadala ni Corcuera yung first Spanish expedition to Lake Lanao. This was led by Captain Francisco de Atienza and saka si Fray Agustin de San Pedro, who was Portuguese recollect, who was also known as si Padre si Capitan. The expedition was ferried to Mindanao aboard Spanish naval vessels commanded by si Admiral Pedro de Almonte de Rastige. No? But anyway, in this first Spanish expedition, this was the first group of Europeans to have visited Lanao, the lake, no, the lake area. Itong yung mga Spanish dito sa first expedition na so yung mga Spaniards yan. But yung second Spanish expedition to Lake Lanao was in 1640, a year after the 1639 expedition, because the first 1639 expedition was peaceful, no? It was actually a spying mission for the Spaniards. They wanted to map out the Lake Lanao and see for themselves yung mga communities around the lake for future invasion, which they did doon sa third dun sa second Spanish expedition in 1640, led by Pedro de Bermudez. Don Pedro de Bermudez. This was a military expedition, but it was a debacle for the Spaniards, no? Because when they raided some of the Moro communities, they put up actually a garrison and several outposts, and then military outposts, and then they raided some of the communities around the lake, like Batu, which is now Balindog, in order to demonstrate to the Maranaos the Spanish military might. But this did not intimidate the Maranao Datos, and instead, they organized their forces, all the Datos around the lake, organized their forces and attacked the Spaniards. This was in 1640. Led to the withdrawal, the retreat of the Spaniards back to Itigan and Cagayan de Oro. At any rate, yung second expedition na ito was so traumatic to the Spaniards that they did not return to Lanao for 225 years. According to Mahol, 260 years. But may mga disparity kasi sa number of years. But ang pinaka-likely ay yung 225 years the Spaniards did not return to Lake Lanao. Yun ang nangyari nung panahon na yun, no? So, and then, of course, meron itong effect doon sa pagpunta ni Sultan Kudarat to Lake Lanao, to dialogue with the Maranao leaders, wherein he delivered his famous speech, and this was in 1652, which was after the Kudarat-Lopez Treaty. So, mahabang kwento ito na dapat mapag-usapan. Bakit, for example, nagpunta si Sultan Kudarat in 1652 to Lake Lanao to exhort and admonish. Dalawa yung speech niya was in the nature of exhortation and admonition to the Maranao Datos. Because the Maranao Datos, he was inviting them to fight the Spaniards. Pero di Maranao Datos, yung mga kamag-anak niya yun, yung mga noblemen sa Datos, mga kamag-anak ni Sultan Kudarat, refused to fight the Spaniards for the simple reason that sabi nila, walang Espanyol dito kasi natalo namin ng 1640. So, Kudarat had to deliver yung famous speech niya wherein he exhorted, wherein he admonished and exhorted the Maranao to join him in his jihad to drive out the Spanish, the Castilians out of our homeland. So it's a very interesting episode in Moro history, which was not really given the right importance by many of our historians.
Tama po yun. That exhortation also, nagtanong siya. Tinanong niya yung mga, kasi si Sultan Kudarat, yung kanyang sister, was married to, si Gayang was married to Datu Amatunding sa Butig.
Yes, correct.
Butig.
Butig, yes, correct.
So,
correct.
Kaya nga, nasugatan siya, doon siya nag-retreat sa Butig.
Yes, correct.
Can you not see that si Ustad's the late Amir Salamat, diyan nag-retreat sa Butig. Hindi ba umakyat tayo, Bobby, doon sa Butig?
Correct.
We were the last person to see him. Tsaka doon niya sinulat yung sino ang mag-next Amir kung sakali siya ay mamatay. At saka inutusan ako na i-install ko yung Amir na yon. Kaya na-install si Haji Murad as Amir. So, dapat hindi makalimutan yung part na yan sa ating history na continuing ang ating struggle, not just about fighting, no? Hindi nakukuha sa bullet kasi yung freedom.
Right.
Di ba? And the pen is mightier than the
sword.
And that may dagdag mo pa, Bobby, ma-resume kaya yung ating hindi, kasi sorry, limitado yung Zoom. Time Zoom, limitado po, Bobby. Kaya dito sa second segment, nandiyan pa yung picture ninyo, mukha ninyo, at saka sa radio, naririnig po kayo hanggat ngayon. Ang radio natin ay 5,000 kilohertz.
Opo, kilowatts.
So, marinig ka pa rin, Datu Bobby. Sige
Okay,
po,
thank you very much.
tuloy mo po.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kaka Michael. Kahit na wala tayo sa Zoom, pero nagkakaringgan naman tayo. And pwede tayo mag-usap naman.
Apo.
Pwede we can continue the conversation through this sa radio. And then, tama. And then, yung nabanggit niya about culture. Well, ang sa akin is, ang culture natin, what defines our culture is our history. Kung wala tayong history, wala tayong culture. Okay. Ang cultural heritage talaga natin is yung ating history. And the deeds of our Moro patriots and martyrs, like Sultan Kudarat, si Amay Pakpak, etc. So our history defines our culture. So yun po, very important yun. Now, kung ang pag-uusapan natin ay governance, dapat we should be very, very meticulous enough to really adhere to the principles of what we fought for, what we struggled for. Dapat yung even if we speak of moral governance, but what is moral governance if it is not based on the principles of what we fought for? And even in Islam, for example, it says the basic ang pinaka-basic na task or responsibility ng isang Muslim is yung al-amr bil ma'ruf wa an-nahi anil munkar, to enjoin what is right, to command in fact what is right, kasi amr, diyan kinuha yung word na amir, commander, al-amr bil ma'ruf, to command what is right and just, and forbid what is wrong and evil. So, yun ang basis natin ng morality. Kaya nga we always have, because of this, we have to distinguish between what is good and right, and this faculty of distinction that is provided to us by the Quran is what actually underpins our perception or our concept of morality. So, tama po kayo, Kaka Mike. I agree with you. Kaya ako, saludo ko sa'yo eh.
Mutual appreciation, pero Datu Bobby.
And you know, Kaka Mike, to tell you the truth, I really miss your company. And my son looks up to you. Si Ru is historian and he looks up to you. Parang ikaw ang mentor niya. Sabi nga niya, sinasabi niya sa mga ikaw daw mentor niya.
Kaya nga, yung offer ko na magra-run kayo ng every Saturday, susunod dito sa aking programa. And then meron diyan susunod na all cultural singing, bayok, or whatever.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes.
ito naman, I want to support you kung nakikinig yung chairman ninyo, si Ustad Salim. Siya
Yes.
po ang inyong chairman who
Yes.
finished his degree in Islamic Studies sa Malaysia. Kaya kaibigan ng anak ko na si Datu Ismail Dustin Mastura, together sila doon sa University of Islam in Malaysia, International University of Islamic International University, or antarabangsa, meaning international. Itong commission ninyo, support in terms of budget. Kasi parang mahina, hindi masyado kayo nakakagalaw. Kunti ang ating time. Meron po bang support dyan na tungkol dyan? And how is it? You see, we are running and projecting ourselves into the future. Tuloy-tuloy po ba yan?
Naputol, Kaka Mike?
Yes,
sir. Kindly repeat, sir, yung
i-repeat ko po.
question.
Ang question ko po is, tuloy-tuloy ba yung support sa inyo sa budgetary appropriation from the black grants para kasi kailangan tuloy-tuloy ito, hindi ito monthly, hindi ito weekly. So dapat ito mabigyan pansin. Now, do you have enough budgetary support in your commission? Kasi baka second thinking lang yung marking history and culture, preserving culture.
Okay, medyo, well, so far as that is concerned, yung budgetary, meron naman budget, but sa ngayon, medyo nagkakaroon ng konting difficulties yung mga probinsya, the provinces that constitute the 5 provinces that constitute the BARN, kasi may mga, each province has its own commissioner. Then medyo nagkakahirapan sa budget sa mga probinsya, no? So, but merong budget naman, but as of now hindi pa talaga systematized yung pag-trickle down ng budget sa mga provinces. So, ang mga provinces medyo nahihirapan sa pag-implement ng mandate ng BCPCH, especially when it comes to itong sa cultural activities and ito sa commemoration ng mga historical events. For example, when we commemorated the other day yung the martyrdom of the Battle of Marawi dito sa Marawi, yung kaya may pakpak, yung what we spent doon sa commemoration was sourced out from outside, hindi galing sa BARM. And then there are more commemorations that are coming away because we are actually within the purview of the 650th commemoration of Muslim history and heritage, which was declared by President Marcos, and he issued actually memorandum number 10 regarding that matter. So na-organize yung National Committee, of which the BCPCH is co-chair of that national committee that would commemorate and celebrate yung Muslim history and heritage, which will be in 2030. Okay. Now, yung commemoration will be done incrementally. In other words, every year yan, starting 2024, may mga activities leading to that year, 2030, wherein yan yung climax ng celebration ng Muslim history and heritage. Ang maganda rito, this is actually unprecedented, no? And this was organized by President Marcos, which is actually, so unprecedented ito. So diyan we have to celebrate every month, commemorate every month, kasi ang corollary to the commemoration of Muslim heritage, of Muslim history and heritage, is the celebration of our Muslim heroes. Muslim heroes. So, napakahalaga nito. Very important ito, no? Ang chair nito is the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, and then ang co-chair, dalawa yan sa co-chair, is ang NCMF at saka Bangsamoro Commission for the Preservation of Cultural Heritage. And mga members diyan yung mga departments like Department of Finance, Department of Defense, yung mga line agencies, member diyan, no? So, malaking commemoration ito, malaking celebration ito, but I think some people still have to appreciate the impact or the implication of this commemoration, yes, especially sa mga politicians natin ngayon.
In my time as Deputy Commissioner with Minister Espaldon, we celebrated the centenary, 400th year of the coming of Islam. Broader picture. Yes. I think it is related to that. That is why we were able to do a marker doon sa unang-unang masjid or mosque.
Yes. Simonol.
Sa Simonol, no? So yun, minsan lang yung nagawa because they are also celebrating what is called the centenary of the Hispanization or evangelization of the Philippines. Evangelization refers to the Christian introduction of Christianity in the islands, no? So yung atin naman is centenary, the coming of Islam to the Philippines, which
Yes,
was
yes.
about 100 years before, almost 100 years, no, or 50 to 100 years before Christianity was introduced in the Philippines. So talagang itong segment ng history sa Pilipinas, kung buo,
Yes.
kung buo
Yes,
ang
yes.
titingnan natin.
Yes.
Tingnan mo, Bobby, na iniisip ko, kasi tayo ang negotiator.
Yes,
Kunti-kunti, nilalabas ko yan. Halimbawa, bakit kaya yung may stand tayo about MOA AD, yung
Yes.
territory natin, yung Sulusi, the Iliana Bay to
Okay, yes,
Moro Gulf, and on
Yes.
the other side of the bay, diyan sa
Yes.
Pangil Bay. Tingnan mo ngayon how ang foresight natin all the way to Batarasa in Palawan, ngayon naging controversial na yan yung normal baseline. Hindi ba? We were arguing
Yes, sir.
yung baseline, normal baseline, and the 200 miles economic zone. So,
Yes,
we had the foresight to see that these issues one day will become talagang national and international even now, no?
Yes,
Then that is in the course of our negotiating the MOA AD. But during the
Yes,
time, tayo na naman ang kontrabida. Hindi tayo ang
Yes, yes.
bida. Okay. Nag-signal na po si Idris at saka yung director, si Rasul and manager Slim,
Magkaroon
break,
muna.
Magkaroon. Sige.
Yes, sir. So, Sir Bobby, we will have a
Yes,
short break po, sir. No, we will be calling you
Okay.
back po, no, after a
Okay,
few
sige.
minutes po, no, for our
sige.
short break po. No?
Ma-resume pa ba yung
Yes.
yung
So,
Zoom?
mm,
Hindi na po.
so we'll try po. We'll try.
We'll try.
Opo,
No?
so,
Sige.
so, this is the way we see it po here at the XMM 107.3 Magnet FM. Magbabalik pa kami makalipas ng ilang sandali. Yes, so this is nagbabalik po ang The Way We See It dito po sa DXMM 107.3 Magnet FM, no? We are down to our last, no, and third segment. We are now calling again Sir Roberto Maulana Alonto, one of the commissioners of the Bangsamoro Commission for the Preservation of Cultural Heritage. So, ulitin po natin, no, yung ating topic po ngayong umaga, just a sort of review. We are actually celebrating, no, the Bangsamoro History Month 2024, and we are now down to the third and fourth part, no, caption, History Month photos, facts, themes, and trivia. And then what's next? Post famous quotes for Bangsamoro History Month. So, Sir Mike, take it away, sir.
Bobby, meron ka bang quote? Hindi natin mailagay sa photo, sa kasi when you celebrate, you have to have siguro you have to encourage yung mga millennials, yung mga G generation to have Instagram na mailagay sa celebration of History Month. Tuloy-tuloy yan, no? Kasi sila mahilig mag
social media.
Social media, no? Tayong mga of age na medyo malaking araw na sa mundo. Hindi masyado mahilig dyan sa mga tuladan ba? Sa Yamada Club incidentally, Mike Asin Anisa, mahilig yan siya dyan sa Instagram and Facebook, no?
Okay.
Sa traveling people. But you have to encourage if you want your commission to be very active, no? Yan ang suggestion ko. So, ano kaya ang palagay nyo gagawin dyan para matuloy-tuloy?
Okay, one of the activities that we are into Kagamay is dito sa month of March and even beyond the month of March. Yung mga photo exhibits because 4 or 5 years ago, si Paisan, si Ru, kaibigan niya si Robert Fulton, who is the author of Moroland. He wrote a book about the Bangsamoro, the Moros, si Robert Fulton. So pinadala niya si Ru ng maraming pictures, documentary pictures coming from different sources, particularly dito sa Library of Congress.
Yes.
So yung mga pictures na ito, categorized into yung mga documentary pictures dito sa Lanao, documentary pictures dito sa Sulu, sa Basilan, Zamboanga, and Maguindanao. So maganda ito kasi napakarami, no? This is actually more than 100 pictures actually, no? Na hindi pa na-exhibit. But na-exhibit na ito dito sa Lanao. Yung mga brothers natin dyan, nag-exhibit sila 3 years ago. And in fact, pumunta yung mga Amerikano para mapanood yung exhibit. Pero I think sa Cotabato, wala pa, no? And apart from that, meron pang mga pictures na nanggaling sa yung sa sa Ortigas, no? Sa Ortigas, museum ba ito?
Lopez Memorial.
Yes,
Lopez Memorial Library.
So pinadala rin nila yung mga pictures nila for and then maganda yung sa Ortigas because yung mga pictures na yon focused on the American campaign against Datu in Cotabato. Oo. And this was never shown before, no? So na magandang i-display and then meron naman na ito naman focus naman sa undivided Lanao. So we have so many documentary pictures that we should exhibit para merong visual, para yung mga tama ka, yung mga millennials natin gustong-gusto nila itong mga pics na ganito. But we still have to organize the effort to really have a how do you say it, systematic exhibit para ma-exhibit natin to sa mga areas natin, especially dito sa Cotabato, sa Lanao, and dito sa Sulu at saka sa Basilan.
You know, Bobby, my wife with her volunteer museum exhibited the Moro Datus, no? Years
Yes.
back, and then together with her collection of malongs, no? And it was a hit. It ran maybe 3 months dyan sa National Museum. Noon. They liked it. And then sa Davao, hiniram yung ibang exhibits na yon. But you see, these are not programs that are tuloy-tuloy. Even the markers also, mahina ang National Institute, Historical Institute. Ang tawag ngayon, commission na nga eh. Alam mo, nag-serve ako dyan sa yung National Historical Institute with Dr. Quezon, Dr. Tan, no? Sami Tan, si Dr. Quezon, Dr. Sami Tan, Dr. Onopri Corpus, ako, then Ocampo, tatay ni Beth Ocampo, no? Together kami dyan. And we were always talking about this, no? You write a book, pero walang sumusulat, Bobby. So the point is, mayroon ba sa mga young generation? So I hope si Ro will be able to come up with a book naman. Like my book, you know, I researched, but thanks to you, ngayon lang yan napalabas sa publiko. Now, there is the other research natin kay Dr. Amor Pindaliday. Yan naman yung the treaties that I gathered, no? And then dinagdagan niya the late Atty. Musib Buat, who was in our panel. I encourage Amor Pindaliday. I hope that meron mag-publish doon sa libro niya. We lack publishers also. Mahirap yung publication kasi no? Maraming trabaho yan. And then you need an editor and kaya yung akin sa Ateneo. So we have to look for publishers also. Then you have in consideration of the same program of photographs, pwede din yan i-publish sa isang volume or 2 volumes, ganon. Yan ang ginawa nung Chinese community in the Philippines. They showed the early Chinese who came here. So marami tayong magawa kung mayroon funds. Kaya tinutukoy ko yun, Bobby. No matter how magsalita tayo dito, kung walang fundo na i-support, meron yan budget dapat dyan sa government, dyan sa farm. Napakalaki naman ng mga tinatanggap na fund support na naririnig natin. Hindi lang decommissioning, hindi lang baril decommissioning, hindi natin nakikita. Ito, mas importante ito kasi lasting ito
Correct.
Di ba? Mas lasting ito yun, instant lang yung photo ops, nag-surrender ng firearms.
At hindi ma-preserve yung culture.
Hindi ma-preserve yung culture.
Kung walang...
sinisira na nga yung mga baril. Pwede pa i-exhibit yung from the Palyuntod. The Palyuntod was the old rifle, no? And then to carbine, to Thompson, to di Salamat, ano ba yung Salamat version ng rifle, no? You see, so, hindi ba? Kasi karunungan yan. Cultural heritage, Bobby, to me, is preservation of the karunungan. The knowledge that we have, no? So, hindi lang material.
Hindi nga, correct.
No.
Actually, Kaka Mike, no, there has to be a correct appreciation of the role of BCPCH dito sa Moro governance. Ano? Very important kasi yung appreciation. Now, kung lacking yung appreciation, wala talaga. Kahit anong gawin ng BCPCH, it will not be able to function as it should. and really play its role, no? Yung mandated role niya. Very important kasi yung appreciation, especially appreciation by the politicians or those who are in power. Dapat ma-appreciate nila yung role ng DCPPH. And para the DCPPH, as I said, can play its role and then can really function. For example, dito kagamay ka, no? Last year, si Dr. Trota Jose was our guest. The PCPCS Ranao, naging guest namin si Dr. Trota Jose, no? And he showed us yung mga sa museum sa Europe, ang daming mga Moro artifacts. Moro kinuha rito sa atin, especially sa Spain. Sa Spain, in all, I think, in all of the museum sa Spain, merong Moro artifacts. Nandun yung mga canos natin, yung mga layla natin na kinuha nila dito during the Moro-Spanish War. And we were wondering if we could, repatriate itong mga anong dito sa atin para naman Spain should give us the favor kasi para naman makuha natin yung what they can repatriate. Ang dami. More armor, etc. nandiyan. At so, sabi nga ni Dr. Protose, and kilala ka niya, Kakamike, no? He knows you very well. Sabi nga niya, we can actually in the future, pwede natin itong kunin, request Spain and the other European governments na merong more artifacts na pwedeng idala dito sa atin. Ang problema natin, Kakamike, wala tayong proper place wherein to, display or store itong mga kuwan na ito. Itong mga itong mga artifacts na ito. We need a bigger museum really. Museums play a very important role dito sa ating cultural effort. At saka yung sa history natin. Kasi kung wala tayong maganda at malaki na museum, hindi natin magagawa yun. Of course, yung diyan sa bar, yung museum diyan sa bar is maliit. So we need a bigger one. Para
Sa Malaysia, nakita natin na every state, has its own museum. Other than the National Museum of Malaysia, the Federal Museum, meron silang mga
hello?
Yes, sir.
Every state has its own museum to display, So, who is kulang? Meron bang tumatawag?
No. Naputol, sir. So, we called in back. So, okay na, sir.
Okay na.
You can
okay
repeat.
ka na, Bobby?
Opo.
Are you...
Okay, so, yun lang kagamay. Kasi I was saying, now we should have a proper place or a museum. That is really a museum wherein we could store itong mga artifacts na ito from abroad, from European museums and even from America, na pwedeng ibalik dito kasi binalik nila yung Balanging Gabriel, remember? The Americans,
Yes.
binalik nila. So, kung may balik nila ito, but we need a place to store it. Kaya nga, yung during the Battle of Bayang, the Americans were able to get yung
Quran.
one of the oldest copies of the Quran.
Quran, yes.
Quran. Tapos dinala sa States, tapos binalik during the time of of Marcos Sr. Tapos nakuha niya. But it's now stored. It's now stored sa museum, sa Manila National Museum. Gusto nilang ibalik dito, pero hindi maibalik because it has to be stored in a place wherein yung right condition na dapat na hindi siya mag-rot, hindi siya pero wala pa ito. So sayang binabalik sana nila. So this is one of our objectives really to put up a museum or museums in each province probably where we can store all of these artifacts na that will actually be a reminder to us of our history.
Now, I am reminded also, Bobby, si Dr. Mamito Saber, set up a very small display room diyan sa Mindanao State University in Marawi,
Yung Aga Khan.
campus, Aga Khan. And then, in Spain, I saw the same, for example, yung shield and the battle, anong tawag mo yun? Armor. Made of Carabao, sido nga Carabao.
Hide. Carabao hide.
Hindi hide. Kuan, susidong yan. So,
Horn.
Carabao horn. nandyan sa, may isang on display diyan sa Aga Khan Museum, pero yan yung iron ata or bronze, no? Bronze. Pero meron din yung made of Carabao horns. So ito, how serious can we be, no? Kasi even in the time of Simeon Datu as commissioner, I was deputy commissioner, we displayed there yung ibang collection diyan sa ORC nawala na. Pinagkuha ng, aywan ko lang sino yung who came after us. Yun ang mahirap din sa ating mga tao. Like also books. No? Even books, Bobby. Old books. Mahirap i-preserve kasi kung nakuha, nagiging personal. Hanggang ma-educated. Again, education yan. Datu Idris. Walang consciousness na i-preserve. Preservation. The aspect of preservation is not in the mind of our people. Maybe because we have been engaging only in war, fighting,
evacuation.
and no time, evacuation centers, and so on. So ito, kaya yung transitional justice, madala dyan. Hindi pwede.
I agree.
Hindi pwede. Kaya inimbitar kita, Bobby, para ma-explain mo talaga ang program ninyo. No? So, I am not disappointed. I am not disappointed by what you are explaining. What I am only concerned is matranslate ba yan sa action? Hindi yan matranslate sa action kung walang fund support. Believe you me, because I am a banker. I used to run a bank. No? So, Jan, yes, go ahead.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Mike, if you go to, punta ka sa internet, makikita mo doon, yung mga, there are artifacts, more artifacts that are being sold to collectors, no? Merong bidding, no? Etc. And if we have the funds, sana, we could buy all of these binibenta nila na mga Moro artifacts. Kasama na diyan yung mga Moro armors, yung mga helmet na ginamit ng mga Moro warriors, yung mga shields, etc. And marami pa, no? Ba ito binibenta sa
Market.
Sa open bidding, no?
So
kaya lang, wala tayong funds. We do not have the funds na pwede natin sana bilhin ito, no? Sayang. And then, pupunta ito sa mga collectors.
Yes. Sa Central Bank, ang ginawa nila, binili na nila lahat yung paintings na famous. Like Juan Luna, yung kay Amor Solo. Kaya na-recover din yung dyan on display sa Malacanang, no? Itself, sa stairs ng Malacanang. And then there are so many in the time of Jaime Laya, because I was president of the Philippine Amana Bank at the time, magmi-meeting kami dun sa Central Bank, and talagang on display yung mga paintings na yon dahil he was a collector of paints. So ito, you have to have a love of these artifacts, no? Not love of imagery, kasi bawal sa Islam yan, no? But when we went to Turkey, maalaala mo na we went to the Turkish Museum, and the sword of the Prophet was there, and we were shown that. So hindi bawal kasi yung ibang ulama natin dito very conservative. Ibang tingin nila sa mga figurines na ito, more of jahiliya yan, ignorance of what culture is, of what I think Saudi Arabia huli sila. Tingnan mo yung souk, no, market. And then even the Masjidil Haram ngayon, nawala na yung history niya. What you have seen there is yung time tower.
Mm-mm.
So it's an imitation of the West.
Yes.
The Times of London or ano ba dyan, when you look at Makkah ngayon, you do not see it like in the time of the Prophet. Sana
Correct.
meron area na na-preserve,
Okay.
na mapuntahan natin, na this was in the time, hindi lang doon sa Madina. Hindi ba? Tama ba ako dyan, Bobby? Anong comment mo dyan?
Tama.
So,
Tama, oo.
oh.
Tama.
Si dito sa atin naman, mahirap kasi yung weather condition, no? We are very susceptible to typhoons, to fires, and then lowland, wetland. Mabuti na lang kayo dyan sa Lanao because we are higher, no? That I think the best place to have that is Lanao because malamig ang
Yes.
weather diyan,
Opo.
klima diyan. So these are the last few minutes that I am spending to sell this. Now, do you or can you share famous lines or quotations? Mahilig ka diyan of a hero, a
Ano yung
Moro
kakamay?
hero. O paki broadcast mo sa radio natin. Hello?
Ano yung kakamay? Sorry.
Famous-
break up ka. Hindi
Ah,
ko masyado marinig.
Okay, famous quotes, yung quotation na nagawa ng ating mga like the Indians, but they have famous quotations of the American Indian chieftains. Now, tayo, marami ba tayo? Ang maalala ko si Umpong. Si Umpong, marami siyang na-collect na quotations of the Bangsamoro leaders.
Yes.
Oh, kayo po, pwede kayo, anto na pangangatigan o mga lalaga, mga aputano, ibigay mo sa mga millennials ngayon.
Well, there are many quotations, but I could only think of one thing at this moment.
You're not ready, ha?
Yes.
Except the Kudarat quotation. Oh.
This is actually, this is about si Ramon Blanco, Spanish Governor General, who wrote in his memoir about Lanao, and he said that those who control Lanao control the interior of Mindanao. Okay, so that's how important Lanao, the Battle of Marawi, that's how important it was to the Spaniards, no? In 1895. Now, remember that the Spanish expedition, or the Spanish obsession to control Lanao, was capture Marawi of Amay Pakpak. And this began in 1891 under General Weyler. Spanish Governor General Weyler, butcher of Cuba, but he failed, no? And this was followed up by the Spanish Governor General Bisbol, but he also failed. So it was actually the Ramon Blanco, Spanish Governor General Blanco, who was able to succeed because he mobilized more than 5,000 Spanish soldiers to attack Marawi. And
The
that's
whole...
how they defeated Amay Pakpak.
Tama.
That's how they defeated Amay Pakpak. But the implication, actually nagkaroon ng intersection dito ang Moro history pati Filipino history. Because yung obsession ng mga Spaniards to capture Marawi, which started in 1891 and ended in 1995, actually gave space and opportunity to the militant Tagalog in Luzon to organize
Yes.
yun ang intersection. And so in 1896 they started the revolution, no? The Philippine Revolution after the death of Rizal when Rizal was executed. But in 1897 nag-start na sila ng revolution. Now, the thing is that although it was actually a victory for the Spaniards in Susano.
So the army, the Guardia Civil and the forces of Spain were tied down dito sa atin, especially beginning yung campaign, pacification campaign kay Datu Uto against Datu Uto Boyan. Then it went on to the American period kay Datu Ali. And then ito
Hello?
namang, yes, I'm saying, while you were out, naputol ka, sinasabi ko na
Okay.
continuation of campaign, yung
Yes.
Terrero campaign, from Terrero to Whaler to uh, Blanco, and then even to
Oh.
Dispol, and the last Governor de los Rios, who retreated in
Right.
Zamboanga. So
Yes.
the whole, at saka nagsuffer yung budget for the pier of Manila. Hindi tuloy-tuloy nila ma-repair yung mga pier diyan sa national capital dahil sa gera natin dito. Bagamat hindi tayo na-involved dun sa Revolution of 1896, we were able to tie down the forces of the Spaniards here in Mindanao, of
Yes.
course, at our expense, no? Na naman. So you can see the connection. Bobby, we have run out of time. Can you say your
Parting words.
parting words, and then we will hope that we can invite you again. But say your parting words to our radio
Listeners.
listeners.
Again, Kaka Mike, thank you very much for inviting us to your program. This has been a very, very interesting conversation with you, and we hope that we can continue such conversation in the near future, because we really have to inform our people of our activities, not only the BCPCA, but yung tayo mismo, ikaw mismo, yung activities natin, which I see as the continuation of our efforts sa peace negotiation, no? So para ma-educate, ma-inform yung ating mga kabataan ngayon. Because now, I think there seems to be some sort of an amnesia. Sa mga young people natin,
Pamukod.
nakalimutan nila yung history. So when you forget history, you cannot, hindi mo makikita yung direction. So I think this is very, very important. So again, thank you very much, Kaka Mike. And siguro next time, mag-personal na. Punta na ako dyan para mag-usap.
Oo,
Yes.
dapat naman. Para longer. So, oo.
Napuputol-putol tayo.
Oh, that's correct.
siguro naman
That's
may
correct.
problema sa connectivity.
And I invite
Natin ngayon yan.
si Ro, kasi alam ko
Yes,
yung,
I've been inviting him now in Manila.
oh, kasi
Mike,
yung,
we need to be in your program and discuss with you. In fact, pumunta kami ng Cotabato and sabi niya, punta tayo si Kaka Mike, but unfortunately, we didn't have enough time nung nandiyan kami sa Cotabato.
okay, tama.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you, Kaka Mike.
last visit mo na,
Yes,
concept.
before I forget, Kaka Mike, there is going to be a big event after Ramadan sa April. Ito sa Cagayan de Oro, sa SM. They're going to hold a cultural event. I-display nila yung mga paintings ni Tamano, ni Edris Tamano, who is a painter, a very good painter. I-display nila, plus yung i-display nila yung balut weaving, yung balut na which is actually the oldest form of style of weaving dito sa Lanao. Hindi mo na makikita ngayon yan, but ngayon nakakita kami na somebody yung master, yung cultural master who still can weave balut. He's an old man, so they demonstrate how to weave balut and there will be national officials who are coming to the event. So I'm inviting you to attend.
Okay, napakagaling.
Okay. Kakadingdong.
Okay. Thank you. Maraming salamat po. Sukran.
Maraming salamat, Kaka Mike.
Thank you for staying with us for the last 90 minutes.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Okay.
And then,
Thank you.
okay.
Po, so maraming salamat po sir. Shukran. Assalamualaikum. So at maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating mga tagapakinig at viewers sa Facebook at sa ating radio. This is the way we see it here at DXMM 107.3 MHz Magnet FM. Magkita-kita po tayong muli sa susunod na Sabado. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Nakasurvive.
Inyong napakinggan ang isa na namang diskusyon sa programang puno ng kaalaman at impormasyon. The Way We See It. Hanggang sa susunod na araw at oras, magsama-samang muli tayo dito sa 107.3 DXMM Magnet FM. Asan ang radyo mo?
Broadcasting with the power of 5,000 watts.